Net Zero, un podcast Holcim. Dacă asculți asta, știi ce avem de făcut.
Having a green home, it provides you a lot of luxury, a lot of comfort. The first house we built in Amber Gardens, it took us more than 2 years. Being green doesn't have to be somehow
without comfort,
niche, or without comfort, or a more hippie style or hippie lifestyle. It's the only way to have a luxurious lifestyle. It's one thing you alone trying to build something. It's a different thing having partners. I don't think sustainability is an option. It's actually the only way forward.
Podcastul Net Zero, un podcast despre optimism, speranță și acțiuni concrete din partea celor care încă n-au renunțat la a face spațiul de lângă ei și, implicit, planeta, un loc mai bun. Dacă asculți asta, știi ce avem de făcut. Sunt Teodora Tompea și începe Net Zero, un podcast Holcim, despre oameni și companii care aleg să construiască o lume sustenabilă. Bine v-am găsit! Sunt Teodora Tompea și începe primul episod al podcastului Net Zero. Dar ce înseamnă Net Zero? Realizarea unui echilibru între cantitatea de emisii produse și cele eliminate din atmosferă pentru a reduce încălzirea globală. Alături de mine îl am în minutele următoare pe Leonidas Anastasopoulos, fondator și managing partner la Alesonor. Vom vorbi despre sustenabilitate, economie circulară și, desigur, cum ajungem la Net Zero. Leonidas are o experiență vastă în dezvoltarea imobiliară și telecomunicații, ocupând poziții importante în România și Grecia în ultimii 20 de ani. Este licențiat în inginerie mecanică și totodată deține și un master în inginerie mecanică la Universitatea Tehnică Națională din Atena, precum și un master în administrarea afacerilor la Universitatea Lavern din Atena. La Alesonor coordonează planificarea financiară a companiei, echipele de design, proiectare și de project management și participă la stabilirea strategiei companiei. Din 2003 a participat la coordonarea proiectelor imobiliare Alesonor în România. Hello and welcome to our podcast.
Thank you very much for inviting me. I'm honored to be here, and I'm happy to be able to discuss about sustainability and the sustainable goals of our company.
Thank you so much for being here. It's a great pleasure for me and also for the audience. First of all, a little bit about your company that earned acclaim for developing the first green luxury residential structure. It's something very big and something very important. What is it is about?
In Alesonor, we have been deeply committed for many years developing sustainable communities. We have been developing in Romania for 19 years. And every time, with every building, with every complex that we have developed, we were trying to push further and further the limits of what we can do. Arriving first to Amber Gardens, that has been the first green community and green housing project in Romania. And now developing Amber Forest, which is the complete green suburb, the first complete green suburb being built in Romania.
What was the inspiration to build? It's something that I think that everybody is curious about, if it is an inspiration behind this building, to build a complete green suburb.
To build a complete green suburb, it was something that started after seeing the amazing response we had from clients in Amber Gardens. Amber Gardens being the first green community, attracted a lot of attention, and we had met more than 6,000 families coming, seeing the project, understanding the concept, and being interested in living in a green.
So it's like a community.
It is a community. Amber Gardens has been a very successful community, but smaller scale, where we have spent a lot of time in developing it, in designing it, and being able to provide a low energy consumption homes with a lot of sustainability elements, including green design, bioclimatic design principles.
So this means a green home.
A green home can have a very wide definition, but while it starts with the way a home is built and the materials that are being used during the construction of the home, it goes beyond on having a home which is much more comfortable, much more
close to the nature, maybe, and
of course it's close to nature.
But it's normal for our planet also.
And I would say this is one of the most important elements, that you know that having a green home, it provides you a lot of luxury, a lot of comfort, while at the same time respecting to the maximum the needs of our planet.
It's more like a personal curiosity. It is hard to build a green home?
It has been a challenge from the beginning. The first house we built in Amber Gardens, it took us more than 2 years in just designing it, making simulation over simulations about the materials that we have to use, about the energy efficiency of the house, about the bioclimatic design elements. It's counterintuitive sometimes thinking that in Romania, in Bucharest, where conditions are quite harsh and the climate is quite harsh, we have cold winters and very hot summers. So in general, houses are being built with a concept of protecting yourself from the environment and being those hard conditions. But in reality, what happens is that in Amber Gardens, we have designed in such a way so the house is opening to nature. So you have views to an amazing garden, and these views are with big glazed openings, which is something that you don't really meet so often. And being able to combine that with a very low energy consumption has been a challenge. But I would say the biggest challenge in when we started Amber Gardens, that this goes back to 2015, was giving the notion to people that being green doesn't have to be somehow
without comfort,
niche, or without comfort, or a more hippie style or hippie lifestyle. It can be the mainstream, let's say, lifestyle, and still being green.
You can still have a luxury lifestyle.
Absolutely. It's the only way to have a luxurious lifestyle, because what makes luxury, it's the comfort that you feel in your house, the fact that you are next to nature. You always enjoy opening a window and hearing the birds outside. Of course, if you don't build the ecosystem to have that, if you don't have trees around you, you won't have any birds. So being quiet, having the possibility to close your windows and be fully quiet inside your home. We have been used in Bucharest especially. We are seeing all these buildings that people are actually blocking their balconies in order, first of all, they need more space, but second, it creates a buffer between a noisy, dirty environment that we have outside and our homes. It's something like a protection zone. Exactly. So imagine eliminating that and suddenly opening your home to nature. So this is a very, very different thinking. And I believe that was the reason that our project had an amazing acceptance from the market. And while at the beginning it was a bit more challenging to be able to speak to every client and stay and listen to them, listen their needs, and see how our project can better cover their needs. And at the same time explaining them all the technologies, all the high-end materials, new solutions that we needed to use in the project, convince partners that they should invest in such a direction, because it's one thing you alone trying to build something, it's a different thing having partners.
Because sustainability was not such a popular, term, and it was not such a popular way of living for future in that period.
It was and it was not. While in the sphere of discussions, it was quite popular. In reality, businesses were reluctant to somehow adapt to it or to embrace it. And the reason is that everybody says, I cannot do it alone. It's a bit like the egg and the chicken problem, that who comes first. So it needed a very coordinated move from more than one player, let's say, in the market to be able to reach that goal. Somebody had to do the first move. And in the residential market, we have been the first ones so vocal and trying really hard and really with conviction regarding sustainability. Amber Gardens has been the first project being certified as a green home community, and I would say, unfortunately, it still remains most probably the only one as a green home project, housing project that has been in that direction. Hopefully, more players in the market will follow and embrace that.
And you are an inspiration. But what is a personal motivation? I'm sure that it is a personal motivation when we're speaking about sustainability.
It's this notion that when you are being born, you are being left something from the previous generations. Now, during your lifetime, you need to somehow take care of that, and if possible, leave something better for the next generations. Once you have children, you start thinking a lot about this, and you are thinking what I can do to make my daughter, in this case, I have a 4-year-old daughter, being proud of what her father has achieved and what it has left behind, not her getting into an age that will start doubting everything. Normally, all kids do that, and say, you destroyed the planet, you did this, we will do better. And sustainability, it's sometimes I get a lot of question, like how you chose that and why you went towards the direction. I don't think sustainability is an option. It's actually the only way forward.
A way of living.
We cannot do something else. And the soonest we realize it, the better it will be for us. The more we delay, the costs will be higher. And we are already seeing that. So we just realized that a few years earlier. And we said that we want to put all our efforts towards that goal. In the small part that we can influence. Obviously, we cannot influence the whole world, but we can take care of what we take care. I mean, our small, let's say, part, we can do it the best possible way. And what we realized is that while at the beginning we were talking about a house and how we can better build that house, how we can have the house being built in a more sustainable way, how it can have a very low energy consumption, which we have achieved results in Amber Gardens. House in Amber Gardens is consuming around 10% of the energy that house of that time was consuming. And we were also the first ones to demonstrate back in 2014 when we have analyzed the first villa showroom. We opened in 2015, as I said, but we're just end of 2014, it was the first villa. We had demonstrated that the sustainability goal set by European Union back then for 2020, now we're 2022, we are beyond that, about net zero energy buildings, could be achieved and could be even surpassed. So we were able to prove that 7 years in advance. And that has been an amazing achievement of our team, to be able to show that what it's put as a target 7 years ahead, it was actually being done then, and giving also an inspiration to others to follow.
To create
follow
a
the
safe
lead.
zone, because a house is a safe zone for all of us.
Yes. And so I think that has been an amazing achievement. Now, on the process of that, while we started with a house and we saw, we can do a house, we can do it bioclimatically designed, which means coming closer to nature. We can have low energy consumption. We can have low embedded energy in the materials. We can see all these that has to do with you and your house, we realized that we could do much more than that. And because the house is a lifestyle choice, the most important thing is how that choice can lead to a greener lifestyle and to a more sustainable lifestyle. And this is what we aimed at achieving with Amber Forest, the first green suburb, complete suburb in Romania, where the whole project was designed with a 50 minutes walk distance with everything that you need around. Because everybody loves to have a social life. Everybody loves to live in the city, while at the same time, everybody loves nature. Everybody loves to be able to walk on a street in the middle of the summer when you have trees above you creating shadow and not having the heat island effect. It's, to get an example from our city, if you walk in the middle of the summer on Kiselev, where you have the trees and the park, is not the same thing as walking in the middle of the summer on Magheru Boulevard. The feeling is very different. The one is friendly, and you can do that. The other one...
The nature makes the difference, yes.
Of course. And being able to provide that outside of the home, it was what gave us the inspiration to design Amber Forest.
It's about the quality of life.
It's about the quality of life and the quality of your lifestyle. And this has to do with many more things around that. Being able to walk to school. Most of us, in my generation at least, we had that experience. Nowadays, kids are not anymore walking to school. Why? Because
especially in a capital city.
Exactly. They don't feel safe. There are cars everywhere. It's crowded. They sometimes live further in a distance from the school. So Amber Forest was designed with exactly that in mind, to have everything that you need in a 15-minute walk. Your social life, we're talking about coffee, restaurants, playgrounds, and then school, the sports facilities, a sports club, anything you need for your family, to have it in a 15-minute walk. And then obviously, we cannot take cars outside of our lives suddenly, but we can significantly reduce the need for their use.
And this is why maybe a businessman or an entrepreneur should do this transition from a traditional business to a sustainable one, and to build a sustainable business or a sustainable community around his or her business.
Is what I said also at the beginning, that you cannot do it alone. You need to have partners that are embracing the idea, and then it becomes much easier. The more businesses, the more people are joining the movement, the easier it becomes to do that. Therefore, I don't see it so much as competition. And therefore, when we started the Amber Gardens and the open houses, we had a lot of competitors, as I said, coming and trying to understand with what we have been using as concept. And we were very open to discuss it. And we were always warning everybody, look, it's hard work to get there. Don't misunderstand. It won't be an easy ride. But I don't think people are lacking hard work. They lack sometimes focus on where this hard work has to go to. So making it easier for them adapting that, it was making easier for us also to open up the market and having the market understanding.
And to be an inspiration for the others.
About the concept.
And yes, as I said, you are an inspiration for the others right now. And maybe in the future we will see more projects like this, because yes, it's important to understand that this planet is the only one that we have. And at least we don't have another way of living on another planet.
I think the fact that we will see more businesses is a certainty. So it's not just a high probability.
And it's a trend right now, yes.
It's a trend and it's a certainty because, as I said, we have no other option. The soonest we do it, the soonest we discover that we have to go there, the better. The better for the businesses, because it's something that sustainability for the world, sustainability for the planet, sustainability for the business as well. If you just design for a business that has a 1-2 years horizon, it will have 1-2 years horizon. If you see it in a more long term, then obviously you design for that and you aim for that, and there are higher chances that you succeed on that.
How did you reduce carbon footprint in your project, in Ales and Honor projects? It's difficult to reduce carbon footprint because
you need partners, as I said.
We go back to the partners.
Yes,
it's all about people.
One thing is to have a reduced carbon footprint during the lifetime of the project, which is it has two parts. One is the energy consumption. It's clear, straightforward. The less energy you consume, the less carbon footprint. The second is the embedded energy to the materials used for building the house. For example, we have the partnership with Holcim, with the EcoPack, which is a green concrete. It's a concrete that uses much less energy to be produced, and that creates a much smaller energy, embedded energy for the buildings. Therefore, we had always been looking for partners that could provide us materials that have this embedded energy as low as possible. So you need these partners to invest in such products, and for us to be able afterwards to use them. And Holcim has been doing that for many years, and we're very happy to collaborate in that respect.
You told me a lot of things about customers, about clients, about people who are now a community in Amber projects, but how is the experience with customers? Are they open to sustainability? Right now, I am asking you for these days because, you know, in the past, maybe things were a little bit difficult, but now?
It has been a niche market in the past, I have to admit that. But nevertheless, the people that were attracted in the concept in the first place, they were already having that way of thinking. In Amber Gardens, for example, and I will take an example of garbage collection. When the city hall proposed to have to split the garbage, I think between what is recyclable and
plastic, glass,
metal, and paper.
Yes.
In Amber Gardens, we took it to the next level. So we split everything to all four, so we have everything in a different bag. And everybody respects that. You adapt in this lifestyle and you start thinking about it more and more, and then it becomes like the habit that you cannot get rid of.
Because it's, as you said at the beginning, this is the normal way of living.
This is the normal way. It's not maybe yet 100% the normal way, but this will be the normal way, and the sooner you adapt to it, the better it is.
So they are very open to this concept, and they love to live in this kind of project.
Clients, especially the clients that we're targeting, which is, as I said, young families, they are at that point in their lives that really something changes. When you have a family, you start thinking about the world you are living for your children. So you start thinking twice about the things and the choices that you do. And therefore, it's an important moment where you are saying, what I need to do in order to live a better world for the next generation. You start thinking the next generation. When you're 20, you don't think that. When you're 25, you don't really think that. Of course, when you start having a family, it's that moment that changes everything. Everything gets a new prisma, through the prisma and the eyes of your children. So you are saying, what I need to do to offer them a better future. You are thinking about a safe environment. In Amber Forest, we have a 4.5 kilometers internal circuit for biking and running through the park, through the whole complex, which is separated from cars. And this is something that you can do, you as an adult, waking up in the morning and have a run. but it's also something that you are able to offer to your children, saying, you can move around, you can explore. You don't have to be constrained. I don't have to have the stress that, to know where you are all the time.
It was one of your customers' needs, this one?
It was one of the needs that we identified, but it was also something that we discovered in Amber Gardens. In which way? At the beginning in Amber Gardens, we were thinking that people want big gardens and a lot of square meters. And soon, after people start moving in, we realized that the space was not so well, let's say, managed. And children are never staying in your garden. So gardens are good for gatherings. You have some friends around, so you have to have enough space for that, enough space to have trees, enough space to have green. But the idea that you will offer everything to a closed space to your children is stupid. I'm sorry to say it.
No, it's true. Yes,
it won't happen. I mean, the moment children are able to walk, they get out of the house. So suddenly we have seen that children especially, were moving from one yard to the other. And therefore, in Amber Forest, we designed the project with that idea in mind. We created 5-hectare green spaces, common green spaces, in order for having enough space for children to be able to explore in a safe environment outside of their home.
What other needs did you discover?
So the need for social life is a need of the adults in the complex, not so much of the children. Obviously, on the children playing with other children and being able to discover around, as I said, is being covered by offering the green spaces. But at the same time, being able to have an area with restaurants, with coffee places, with somewhere where you can go and stay and meet friends, and that being next to your home, it's an idea that was not so much developed in Bucharest as a city. You see, we haven't rediscovered the wheel. This is something that happens in most capital cities. Most capital cities have satellite towns, satellite villages that offer exactly that. And Amber Forest's central area, I would say the social area, it's not an area that it's only destined for the residents of Amber Forest. It's an area which is open for the whole region. So everybody that lives in Otopeni, everybody that lives in Tunar, in Pipera, in Balotesti, in all the areas around, will be able to access it. So hopefully, as the roads are being built, and right now they're also building, they're rebuilding the roads around there, building the sidewalks, people will be access it even walking
more easier
than before from the whole area. So this is a need that we had seen that it's being requested not just from our clients but from everybody around in the neighborhood. Being able to have the sports club for that. It's a bit crazy thinking that you have to take your car to go to the sports club, to run for an hour, to take your car again and going back home instead of doing the
walk 5 or 10 minutes
exactly and do the let's say the pre-gym let's say training on the way.
Yes, to take your car to do sport.
Exactly. Yes, it sounds a bit counterintuitive. So being able to walk to that, being able to run, to take your bicycle for that, sounds much more natural.
And to be safe to use
and to be safe to do that. Yes.
How can sustainable become more accessible for everybody? Okay, let's talk a little bit more about entrepreneurs, but also for normal people, for all of us.
So while, as I said, it's not about being a choice, it's the only way forward, clearly, people that have this mindset should design it in a way closer to the market needs. The product you design should be more desirable from the point of view of the customer. It has to be sexier in a way. I will take the example of electric cars. The first electric cars we had seen in previous decades were targeting more people that already just being a green car was enough. And they would buy anything as long as it was green. But the mass market doesn't think that way. In our way of life, there are many things that we can do in order to live a greener lifestyle. Myself personally, I love using my bicycle. I'm using my bicycle for many years, doing everything that I can do with a bicycle. I won't use a car doing it. Everything I can do to get a trottinetta, that it's so popular nowadays and you get it everywhere around, I will prefer to do that than using my car. If I can walk somewhere, I will walk instead of taking my car. If I go in a supermarket and I see the products that are somehow more sustainable, I will go and choose those products. If I go in a market and there are locally produced fruits, they taste better anyway. So I will go and choose those. So everything we do in our daily lives, even if it needs a small effort, like the garbage separation, it's something which is small effort with a huge impact for the planet. And therefore, I think it's a no-brainer to do that and to go to that direction.
Thank you so much. It was a great pleasure and it was so inspiring. I hope that those who are watching us are also inspired by you and by your example. And let's be more green and let's try to live more sustainable, because this is our home. This planet is our home and it's our duty to make it more safe, a safe place to live in.
Indeed. Thank you very much for the opportunity to talk about our projects, and I hope also that we see more and more businesses and products going towards that direction.
Mulțumim că ați fost alături de noi și până la episodul următor vă invităm să găsim împreună soluții. Pentru că, în ciuda turismului cu nave spațiale și a telescoapelor gigant care ne caută o altă casă, Pământul rămâne cea mai bună opțiune. Și încă mai e timp să facem lucrurile altfel aici, unde știm sigur că ne e bine. Net Zero, un podcast Holcim, despre oameni și companii care aleg să construiască o lume sustenabilă.